team.
I'm Leah.
I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Michael Love. Sorry, our other crew members couldn't be here, but we're here in spirit. So, go ahead. No, that's you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the performance of athletes and how that affects their financial well-being. To start, he's going to do a little bit of introduction, and then we're going to talk about our hypotheses, data collection, our testing methods, and then our variables as well.
So to start out, we just want to think about the situation of student athletes. Do we all believe they have money? I know just being students alone, we probably aren't that wealthy just to start out just because of school. And just a couple questions to play off that is, for everyone, do you think participation in sports has an impact on the student's financial future? Anybody can answer it if they do.
I think it's a part.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Because of how time consuming it is in season, especially, like people can't work when they're in it, and that like requires you to save up through the year and then use that savings during season.
Okay. Next question, do you feel do we have any student athletes in here? That's the next question. Okay, I'll just pick you for example. Do you feel that it's not nothing crazy. Do you feel your athletic performance has any influence on your like current or potential future well-being?
Yeah.
How so though?
Similar because you don't have much time to like work or anything, so often you have to like take out loans and stuff to pay. So like you'll have debt you have to pay back in the future.
Okay. And this is another one for like everyone. How do you think students' financial background affects the pressure of being both student and athlete? You got
I
it.
think that it can affect in different ways. Like if you come from a more like higher socioeconomic class, then like perhaps it's less stress. But if you're from lower, then it's like you're working maybe 2 times, 3 times harder to just achieve like the minimum.
And I'll kind of like play back on the second question. That was a good response. I feel though the influence of performance when it comes to student athletes is it can definitely affect scholarships and things of that nature. If you perform badly or you get hurt and things like that, it can really change your circumstances as far as like how much money you may receive or even other things outside of that that might affect you a little bit more. And also with this, we also introduced NIL, name, image, and likeness. And when it comes to that, the question to play off that is, how do we all feel about name, image, and likeness? It's to start out a way for students to get compensation from their own personal gain. Okay, when it comes to the sports that we have here at NMU, there is a lot for both women and men. I feel that it's very diverse. That's what me and my group members all agree on. It's very diverse with little upwards to like 500 students. Realistically, we wanted to get about 300 students to participate, but it may only get to about 100, maybe 150.
Right, so why we chose this area to research, like he said, is estimated to have 300 plus student athletes, and ideally we'd want around 100, 150 because we had, as you all know, athletes and students are busy. So also 4 out of 5 of us on our group or in our group are student athletes, so I think that's really important to note because we all have our own personal connections to our specific teams and then other teams as well, and then we also have friends outside of NMU that either transferred or are at different universities. So if we're struggling to get a pull from those, we can also reach out to them as well. And obviously finances stress out college athletes or college students in general. So I think this is an important topic to touch on, especially with student athletes as well. And then in general, as we know, it is difficult to graduate, even harder for student athletes at times, kind of balancing the workload of school and our athletics as well. And many case studies already exist on this topic too. The NCAA for one is really important as they are kind of the main hub for athletes at the Division 1, 2, 3 level. And then an important statistic to note is that the NCAA back in 2021 did some research based off some COVID stuff, but they picked up 9,000 survey participants from the Division 1 to 3 level. And something to note is that about 44% of those athletes are worried about academics. 37% of them are worried about their future, and then 26% of them are worried about their financials as well. So going into our hypotheses, we chose 3 that we thought were really important to touch on throughout our research. For the first one, we said that higher athletic performance is positively associated with better financial well-being among students. Obviously, the better you play, in our opinion, the more likely you're less stressed about financials in terms of scholarships, or if you have an injury, you're not willing or able to participate. That can also put on some financial stress for athletes as well. For the second one, we said student athletes from higher income backgrounds, like Patrick mentioned back there, are less affected by financial stress. An important statistic to note back down in that corner there is that from Bailey and Narski in 2021, they said half of all high income families earn a bachelor's degree by 25, and then while only about 10% of the low income people receive that level of degree in the bachelor's. So we thought that was important to note because that does correlate with hypothesis 2 as well. And then for our final hypothesis, we said introduction of name, image, and likeness, otherwise known as NIL, compensation has improved the financial well-being of student athletes. So I wanted to include this image down below on the right there. Influxor is a company that works with NMU particular and universities and colleges throughout the U.S. And basically you can sign up on their website and kind of make your own page and earn merchandise monthly based on sales for either jerseys like up there and overall merchandise like sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff like that.
So how are we going to get our data? Our main surveyors, they're going to be student athletes, so we're going to be sending our surveys to the coaches and assistant coaches, and we can get their emails through the staff directory over here. So we go to their website, NMU's, and it's going to have everyone's email on the right. Everyone over here, we're going to find the coaches and the assistant coaches, and we're going to be sending them the survey. And I've heard they are very proactive about it. It's about education, but we will see where things lead. Now, I have a feeling it's going to be, hopefully we get more than 100 surveyors, but we do know that there's more than 225 athletic students because of the GLIAC award, which was awarded earlier this year, and 225 students were awarded for having good grades. So that's definitely a fact. And we have one main dependent variable, and that's going to be the financial well-being. In 2019, a study was done in Atlanta, and they found that 60% of students worry about their money. 32% of students neglect their studies in order to obtain, college tuition and furthering. Now, raise your hand if your study is about financial well-being, or has a factor in it, or your survey. Raise your hand. Everyone. It's no surprise, It's one of the biggest issues we're facing today as college students. So, yeah, that's our dependent variable. We have 3 independent variables. We have the athletic performance, the family financial background, and then how has NIL affected students, and not NIL money, but how has it affected their financial well-being? Has it helped them, or has it neglected them? And then the conclusion: we hope to find significant value. We do have an expectation where things would lead, since our main group will be athletic students, and we have some expectations where they will be at. Some possible issues is that the family financial background. NMU is it's considered one of the cheapest universities in the Midwest. That's why we have people all over the world coming over here to NMU. So I do expect some numbers to be varying. And another big issue that I really see is NIL money. I don't think it's going to help NMU students over here. The NACC or NCCA, they announced that the average money was like $1,000 to $10,000. I don't think any of the NMU students are getting anywhere near that at all. So that's a big issue that I think that will be faced. That concludes our presentation. Any questions at all?